Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello, darlings. Hi, babies. Okay, get your petty tea. Let's go. Let's start with love because all the craziness and everything going on right now. Let's just say, yeah, always something to think about politically. And especially for my disability community, I hope you are able to get all of the medical like just needs that your disability needs because all of us are different. I know with me it's physical therapy and therapy because being undiagnosed for over 30 years and doctors kept blaming me and saying it's my fault and that I'm lazy and I want attention and those no good, stupid, ignorant, racist bigots. But yeah. So it's like also, the whole medication thing. And then for some of us, our symptoms get better and worse with the weather outside. It's crazy. So since now our Democrats, I have so many thoughts about closing the government for this long just to open back up without finalizing and making sure that Americans were going to be able to. But at the same time, I know it's not all of their fault, but at the same time, I'm going to say, but at the same time, a lot because a lot of things happened at the same time to the point where they affected each other, and now they're at the risk of affecting people's lives. But at the same time, you saw a lot of the racism, the ignorance, the bigotry, the poorly educated, the stupid, just naive, vile, evil people out here while this whole snap situation was going down as well. Because even the fact that these Republicans, like either AI or the Candace Owens of the black women, were trying to say, like, oh, I've got 7 kids by 7 baby dads, like all this other garbage. It's like, okay, we already get enough hate and we never get celebrated for being the most educated demographic. No, they say we don't deserve it. No, they say that we only get jobs because of DEI. We never get the credit that we deserve, that we worked hard for. They just want to say that we're ghetto, that we have all these babies, but then it's like, okay, you don't want to raise the minimum wage so that people won't need that. But no, you want the billionaires to be like even bigger billionaires. But then when the banks and everything falls apart, oh no, you're going to give them money. You're going to just throw money at the rich, but then not at the poor, which is the opposite of like parts of the Bible. But then I know my pastor and bishop, they always celebrate that one portion of the Bible where I think one of the people who had more got more than the other person. Like they always want to go to that part of the Bible and everything like that. And yes, I'm not trying to preach to you, so that's why I'm not gonna try to just take the time and think it through because it's like I know it's in there. And they've talked about it so many times to the point where I'm just like, whatever. It's like this represents what America does. This represents what the rich wants them to do. So, but okay, this all has to do with what I'm going to be talking about right now. Because, okay, first we had those Labubu you guys were fighting over a stuffed animal. You guys were fighting over a stuffed animal. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? It kind of reminds me of back with the Beanie Babies time. But then thinking about the Beanie Babies, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look something up. Yeah. Okay, because yeah, Beanie Babies, it's like I know it was the 90s, and then they were really popular from 1995 on to like early 2000s and everything. But it's like the economy wasn't like it was like I don't know, like part of me just wonders why were people, because I will admit some of them were cute, but at the same time, would I fight someone over? No. And okay, that even reminds me, like today, the okay, I'm recording this on the day that the K-pop demon like hunters Mattel dolls came out. They sold out so quick. Am I gonna fight someone over it? Heck no. The dolls are adorable and cute, but at the same time, like, I need to start my business. I need to start like getting money together for an editor for the novel. I need to try to start getting money. Oh, well, yeah. Basically, money has to go anywhere and everywhere but on a doll. Yeah, do I want them? Am I going to see if they're going to make any more in the future? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, it is what it is. And I'm looking forward to the projects and the things that I'm going to be making for the future. So, yeah, whatever. And with what's going on right now, okay, because yeah, first, let's get back to these Labubu. It's to the point where even South Park, and I loved how they tore it up. They were just like, okay, yeah, you guys are crazy. And it's like, you guys are buying box after box just to get a different version, a color or a different color version of the same little monster thing. And it's like, is it like a year from now, are they going to be of any value? It's like, if you really tried to auction it off, are people gonna still be running about like kind of like Beanie Babies? Because everyone kept saying they're gonna grow in value. These are gonna be so popular. What happened? Like what happened? Let me just tell you that didn't happen. People have been trying to sell them throughout the years since, and it didn't happen. And how Generation Z, they already don't see any hope of being able to buy a house, and so to them, this is a way for them to be kind of the like a type of rich that doesn't really matter. Yeah, yeah, and it, and that's why it's like sometimes I think it's really funny how even okay, yeah, I'm gonna bring up dating because when I was busting my tush off, and I mean I still bust my tush off, but like years ago when I was working two, three jobs at the same time, like oh, it was like a never ending story of working different jobs. But I was investing the money, and it's like even when I was doing promotional modeling and I was going to grad school and I was trying to do research on okay, different ways where I can like start like saving money and investing for a future business and stuff. People were just like, "Oh my gosh, why are you doing that? That's so stupid," and things. But then I would see the things they would buy, and to me, I would like, I don't know, it's just yeah. Anyways, like, cause I just feel like it's kind of, especially there was this one young lady that I worked promotional modeling with. She ended up marrying like a rich guy, but it's like she always kind of put it in people's faces that she could spend money whenever she wanted, and especially since she was gonna marry this specific guy and everything. But it was just kind of like, and I remember she kind of put me down for investing, where she told me that she never had to think about or plan about that because she was married to a man that was always gonna have money for her. And I thought that was kind of disgusting and stupid because I'm like, I'm not trying to find a man to marry just so I can get in his wallet. And it's really funny how a lot of men, they say they don't want that, but then they brag about that or try to show off certain things to attract the women. But then they get mad when that is what attracted the woman. It's really backwards and stupid. But okay, back to the Labubus. Back to the Labubu. Like so many people even got online and making all of these TikToks and things like, look at me open a box of this little stuffed animal. And it's just like, okay. But okay, now we're going to fast forward. We don't even have to fast forward. I mean, only like a couple months later, now we have this Starbucks Bearista mess. What is wrong with you? And it was really funny. One of the employees, she was like, "Why don't you just go to the grocery store and get one of those honey bears. It's basically the same thing. And I'm like, you know what? You got a point. Why don't you go to the grocery store and get one of those honey honey bear types of containers and then go online, see if you can find a lid that might be similar. Bada boom, bada bing, you got a cheaper version and one you don't have to fight for. One where you won't feel like you're gonna end up like with what part of your ear bitten off and things like that. Perfect. Yeah, you don't want to end up like Mike Tyson, do you? You don't want to end up like Mike Tyson, do you? Yeah. But yeah, I'm showing my age. I don't care. I'm gonna keep going. But I just, it's just, oh, are we really fighting? Because even with the Stanley Cups. Like we keep fighting over stupid things. But then politically, are you gonna fight for your rights, especially to be able to one day own a home? Are you gonna fight for the right to raise minimum wage and things like so that maybe everyone can get paid higher? So that instead of watching trillionaires become, because yeah, so many people are so excited to see the first trillionaire, but then they can hardly keep their house, they can hardly feed their kids, they can hardly live their life. They can't go on vacation, but then they love watching other people enjoy their lives instead of enjoying their own life. Because that's partially how the Kardashians became so famous, because everyone loved looking through them, looking at their lives and watching rich people be rich. And then they just ended up helping her, like them be more rich and things like that. That was the amazing part. It's like, so why don't we all just, instead of like just watching the rich, why don't we fight for our rights so that we like maybe not even just rich, but to the point where if you want to go on a vacation, you can, and you can do it maybe once, maybe twice a year, every year. And then if you want your kid to go to daycare, yeah, let's fight for free daycare. But I mean, if with our country, with our Republicans, it's like, let it be to the point where we can afford the daycare when we need it. Let's do that. And so with the small businesses, let's do it to a point where they don't have to buy everything off of Amazon, that they can actually have small businesses be small businesses. Because I remember when I was little, and not even little, when I was just younger, because I was like, no, I was middle school, high school, early college. There was this really, really cute boutique not too far from me, and it's like my mom loved going to this boutique. And I have a few, yeah, it's like actually, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, where did I put those dresses? Because I was gonna save one for when I graduated college, but then I never went to, yeah, I have 3 degrees, but I never went to any of my college graduations. But if you've been listening, you already know partially why. But yeah, my mom loved going to these boutiques and stuff. And they had some of the cutest, most like, okay, just it was like mature cute, and they were unique and different. You couldn't find these outfits anywhere else. And it was just really like sophisticated, and like I don't know, just walking in there and looking around, it was so cool and amazing. But now you go into some of these small stores and stuff, and everything is, you can find any of their items just Amazon. And that's when like I try my best not to buy anything off of Amazon, because like to me I'm just like, just like with my cell phone, like so many people look down on me for, I like being me. I like not having something that everybody else has. And especially having a phone where it's just because I want it. It's not because I'm trying to, keep up with the Kardashians or keep up with the Jeffersons or whoever. It's like I have something that I want because I want it. And now, like with the Stanley Cups, it was to a point where kids were being teased if they didn't have one. It's to a point where with the little like Labubus, it's like people like look down or up at you depending on what color your Labubu was, which is kind of like, that's for a racist in a way. But anyway, now we got this. barista mess at Starbucks. It's like people staying in line for hours, like, cause and some of them open at 3 o'clock in the morning. What? So people are going there at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning to make sure they're there at 3 o'clock at the front door. But then, like, there was one story that really bothered me because there was one of the employees brought her friends and with the key, and I guess they weren't working that day, but since they worked there, they were able to get, like, before the doors opened, the manager let them in and they took everything, including like even the Hello Kitty stuff, which I'm like, yeah, that was really like that's not fair. And the young lady that was right at the front door, she should have been able to get that item. She had to get like just something else that wasn't what she like that's not what she went there for. And so it's like people are really showing themselves, like, because even with all of the selfishness and all of this temporary richness, because some people you're gonna feel that high, you're gonna feel that rich high, you're gonna feel like, oh, you're better than people, but it's gonna be temporary because at some point no one's gonna care about your labubu, no one's gonna care about your Stanley, no one's gonna care about your barista. It's temporary. And that's why, like, a lot of people, especially a lot of men, can't stand me because I invest my money. But that's one thing, like, money's gonna stay money, honey. Okay. Okay. Because it's like, and I think that's one reason men hate that I invest, because I am building something. I am trying to make sure I have a, like, especially if I end up in a relationship and he, yeah, ladies, you already know what I'm getting at, but I can escape. I can leave. I have my own financial way so that I can do whatever I want to do. And and that's one reason why I'm never getting married. I'm making sure that he won't be able to get anything of my property. And that's why I'm so thankful that Mr. No Heart never wanted to get married, because like with how selfish and awful and terrible and vile and despicable he was. Oh yeah, I have so many episodes where I talk about him. It's like, watch the oil change series, watch the video game Phone Strike series, and we'll watch the pancake series. I have so many series about this man, and I have so many more to go. But it's just, I've learned. It's like I invested my money, and now I'm trying to start my businesses. I'm trying to live my dreams. And the thing is, I should have started these businesses years ago, but it's like with this on top of the disability, I would have had the money. But yeah, watch the episode about him wanting to start a business. I ended up spending all, like, he owes me at least around like between 2,500 to 3,000, probably more than that, but I know for a fact, for sure, that it's between that um that amount. And I'm still upset because now I'm starting over and I have to be so careful, and sometimes I'm looking at the options of, like, what kind of containers do I want to put the candles in, and then also like being able to get the editor to start working over the novel so I can have it out for, like, I think maybe late summer, early fall of next year. And yeah, I'm not able to do that because of his absolute, like, selfishness and stupidity, and just, yeah. And in some ways, like, he treated video games like labubus. And don't get me wrong, like, as a dad, I was like, yeah, have your me time, but within reason, save some money, you know? Instead of the 420s, maybe save some of that money, or at least instead of the 420, don't borrow money from me. It's like you say you need the gas money, but then I see you with not just a little, but a pretty good amount of yeah, you know? So then I'm at a point where it's just like I could have used that money for what I needed it for. You never helped me out at all. And so I like, and I say this because, yeah, young ladies, invest your money instead of the Labubus, instead of the Bearistas, instead of the Stanley Cups and all of the other mess. It's like, start, like, if you can invest, like, even if it's pennies, or even though, yeah, I think they minted the last pennies this week too, which is interesting. But I just kind of feel as if, well, I don't know, it's just really save what you can. And it's not sponsored, but I'm going to be creating a whole list of different apps and websites that I use, that I have used or am going to use, and everything. Because, yeah, I have a goal list once I start the businesses, and then I'm able to be in the black or profit and everything like that, and convert my vehicle so then I can start selling my products at like the flea markets and stuff like that, and the weekend fairs, all that, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, once I'm able to do that, then I'm going to get back into acorns is a perfect one to start off with, you know. It's like, okay, I'm not a financial advisor at all. I'm not at all, okay? So yeah, just know that. It's like I'm not qualified to give the financial advice, but I'm just saying I have used it for over about 8 years now. And especially like with my disability and all of the crap that I've been through, it's like I can at least say that it's like it's helping me be able to have like something to the point where I'm like, if I have to have another surgery, or if I'm on hard times or something, that I'm not gonna have to be homeless. It's like I do have something that will help me make sure that I have backup to make sure I don't end up hungry and stuff like that. So, and that's one reason I am so thankful. Even though my ex, Mr. No Heart, laughed at me, teased me, and he was like, "Oh, then you're just gonna be making pennies. Pennies grow. You plant the pennies to grow. Pennies turns into nickels, nickels to dimes, dimes to quarters, quarters to dollars, and then those dollars like multiply to higher amounts of bills." So, if people try to tease you, mock you for investing, just ignore them. But yeah, it's like I'm not gonna get into Robinhood and all that. I guess, yeah, I'm not like the individual stock type of person. I'm more of like, yeah, with acorns and then ETFs and stuff like that. That's what I do. But yeah, I'm not a financial expert again. I'm not. It's like I'm talking like, for especially the disabled community as well. It's like, I mean, but talk to a financial advisor. But those are just two things, especially like you don't have to be as nervous about, or it's not as cautionary and things like that or whatever. But okay, I'm going to stop talking about it because I am not an expert. But at the same time, yeah, I'm, I just feel like if anybody needs encouragement and stuff like that, and especially if anyone's going to end up in a dating situation and then they don't feel safe, always try to build something so that you can escape. Build your boat. If you're on a stranded island or whatever, yeah, build that boat so you can escape. Okay, okay. But okay, back to, and that's why, like with the barista, like a lot of, because yeah, a lot of these trends are for women. And if you've been noticing, guys, like especially politically, they want to take our rights away. They want us to the point where we're just at home. like raising babies and like, okay, yeah, I'm older, so I'm like, this is for Generation Z and A and everything like that, but they don't want you to be able to have your dreams. They want your dream to have babies and take care of a man. They want you to babysit a man for the rest of your life. Save up your money, because it's like, yeah, it's like, even though I'm never gonna get married, that doesn't mean you don't have, like, I want, like, especially if you found the person, congratulations. It's not a good idea for myself. Yeah, this is kind of an odd episode, but so yeah, all of these things are just what I've done, because especially after dating a guy who refused to go to my mother's funeral, refused to go to my major surgery, refused to call me like days, like, that's the funny, I have not heard from this man since, let's see, February of 2019, that we were still dating. We were still together. No, February of 2020. Sorry, yeah. February of 2020 is, and because after that phone call, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait until he calls me. And I already told this story before, but let's say March, April, May, June, July, no call. And that's when I was like, you know what, we're through. That's when I broke up with him. And oh yeah, it's like, I still need to upload the other episodes, because yeah, he found for some reason he needed to find my YouTube channel. He didn't have to, but yeah, he found me through Reddit. But the funny thing is, because he said, you still blocked me on Facebook. Boo boo, yeah, yeah, duh. And what do you mean still? I'm never gonna not stop. I'm never gonna stop blocking you. You're blocked for good. You're blocked for good. If you never wanted to be my friend, especially since you grew up in a racist city where there's like, yeah, like, go listen to those episodes. I'll just say, go listen to those episodes. Yeah, you can tell I'm talking from experience, and I want to make sure none of you ladies end up in a situation like mine. I want to make sure that if you need to leave, you're able to leave safely, securely, and that you have enough money to survive on your own. And so the barista cup is adorable. It is. But is it worth fighting over? It's like, how much is in your savings account? How much do you have invested? Like, if you end up in a situation, would you be able to afford the escape plan? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I want to know. So, and just know you're so young. There's always going to be something better down the road. And a lot of times, the things that you want so badly, years from now, you're going to laugh, or you're going to end up donating it to Salvation Army because you're not going to care anymore. Part of me wonders how many of these Labubu dolls are going to be, like, by Christmas. How many of them are going to be on Salvation? Yeah. How many of them are going to be at the Salvation Army? I'm really wondering that. And with even the Stanley Cups, I heard some really bad news about, even like, it can raise risk of health diseases, whatever. So yeah, I do not want a Stanley. I really do not want one. I mean, this is just what I've heard and everything. So it's like, yeah. So all of my advice that I have to say with this one, is it really worth it? Are you just gonna remember that you got this cup, or the doll, or the other cup? Yeah, it's like, for some reason you really want to fight for something that you're gonna have to suck on. This is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.